As always, ladies and gentlemen, we've got some brand new patch notes. We've been waiting a while for these ones, so I expect them to be banging. One thing to keep in mind, ladies and gentlemen, these are probably going to be the notes that the AWC finals are played on. Barring something insane, I feel like these will probably, if I had to guess, be the last set of changes before the finals. So let's see what these are. We're going to categorize these as huge buffs, slight buffs, nothing changes, slight nerfs, and huge nerfs. We'll do a little reset. No! I messed that one up. All right, let's do that again. All right, let's make this really quick. Huge buffs. Slight buffs. Slight buffs. Nothing changes. So, slight nerfs. And last but not least, huge nerfs. All right, and then we'll delete this. Delete. Delete. And we'll get these notes up. And let's take a look. This is a blind read-through. No one has spoiled anything for me. I don't know what's going on. We're going in blind, ladies and gentlemen. Let's see what happens. All right. Class tuning incoming May 6th, ladies and gentlemen. As the Season 2 continues, we're monitoring class balance and making adjustments to specializations that become outliers. Death Knight, Unholy, Sand Lane, Pact of... So these are general changes, by the way. So these are non-PvP changes, okay? Sand Lane, Pact of Sand Lane now restores 25% of all shadow damage dealt into Blood Beast. Raise Abomination, melee attacks, damage increased by 30%. Army of the Damned, Magnus Frostbolt increased by 40%. I don't know how good this is. I don't know. Does anyone know Raise Abomination? Is that a... Okay, so for Unholy, I'm going to put nothing changes, but you guys can tell me if those are big. I just feel like those probably don't do anything at all. Havoc Demon Hunter, all ability damage increased by 4%. I swear Havoc Demon Hunters are already insanely good. I'm not joking you. I think Havoc is nuts. I'm actually surprised to not see not applied in PvP combat for this. But whatever. Aldraki Reaver's Mark debuff application can no longer be parried. 4% damage is nothing to joke at. So for now, that's a lot. I'll put slight buffs, but yeah, I don't know. That's crazy. Druid Guardian, all ability damage increased by 5%, irrelevant. All ability and auto attack damage increased by 3%, does not apply in PvP combat. So for this, we'll put nothing changes. And then for Feral Druids, so far, we'll put nothing changes as well. So let's do that really quick. Nothing changes. Guardian Druid, anything that's mentioned, I'll put there. Augmentation. Damage of all spells and abilities increased by 15%. Dude, how bad was Augmentation? How is Augmentation going to get 15% more damage, 15% more damage again, 15%? How bad was it? Because literally the third patch in a row has got 15% damage buffs. All right, well, it got buffed again, but does not apply in PvP, so this will be a neutral. Frostmage, Spellslinger, Splinter damage increased by 10%. Controlled Instinct damage increased by 40%. Volatile Magic, 20%. Frost. So, Spellslinger Frostmage is terrible. Yeah, I don't think you'll ever play Spellslinger Frost. Nothing changes. These are completely irrelevant for PvP, in my opinion. Retribution. Bunch of ret changes. All don't apply in PvP. So, Final Verdict, Divine Arbiter, Blade of Justice. All got buffed for PvE. So, Rep Paladin, neutral so far. Holy, all healing done increased by 4%. Does not apply in PvP combat. Okay, there it is. Warrior, Bladestorm damage increased by 30%. Does not apply in PvP combat. Slayer, Reapstorm increased by 30%. Does not apply in PvP combat. Bladestorm damage increased by 30%. Does not apply in PvP combat. Slayer, Reapstorm damage increased by 30%. Does not apply in PvP combat. So, someone's asking if this is a tier list. This is not a tier list, guys. This is just a way for me to categorize buffs and nerfs. All right, now we're getting to the good stuff. The player versus player. I think these are highly anticipated. Let's see what goes on. So far, the only thing that's got buffed is Havoc Demon Hunter. Mana regeneration reduced. So they nerfed Rest of Druid's mana regeneration. Slight nerf. And I think it's a good change, honestly. Preservation. Time of Need no longer has its healing reduced by 25%. Energy Loop no longer has its mana reduced. And Verdant Embrace healing increased by 15%. So some slight pres buffs. I think these are great changes. I think that was a good change. I think it was a good nerf to Druid and a good buff to pres. What we're looking for, guys, what I'm looking for is the healers that aren't so good get slight buffs, and the healers that are OP get slight nerfs. And so far, that's on the money. Mistweaver Monk, my favorite healer that I was playing all day. And this is not a conspiracy. Mana regeneration reduced by 35% was 40. Okay, so Mistweaver Monks are going to be slightly more mana efficient, which is great. Feather Feet PvP talent increases the duration of lighter than air to 12 seconds. That's very interesting. So you're going to be able to run cast for 12 seconds after you roll. That could be good. I don't know. Jade Serpent Statue Soothing Mist Healing increased by 60% and its duration increased to 4. That's a good... I actually like this change a lot. Like, using your statue well is going to be super beneficial. And Vivify. I love those changes. Great changes to Mistweaver Monks. That's not over the top, but it feels like a great change. Electrocute damage increased by 75%. Okay. Torrent's bonus to Riptide initial heals is 100% effective in PvP. Was reduced by 33%. Healing Tide health increased by 75%. That's a good change. Mana regeneration reduced. So I think those are good changes to Shaman too. So far, I like all of these changes. The healing bonus from Improved Maelstrom is 50% effective in PvP. Was 25. Okay. How much health is that? Dude, I'm not going to lie. If Healing Tide Totem was literally immortal, it wouldn't bother me. I'm not going to lie. Like, if the patch note said Healing Tide Totem is now immortal, I would actually be okay with that. Or it had 500% more health. That'd be fine with me. I don't think it's cool to kill the totem. It's like, it's a huge cooldown. Maybe I'm crazy. Paladin Luminance now increases Light Bearer's healing by 150%. That's a great change too. Oh yeah. Blessing of Sanctuary's cooldown is increased. Oh my god. Oh my god. Gleaming Rays now increases Holy Power spender damage by 10%. Damn, they undampified Rets a bit. They actually made Rets less damp. I actually think those are good changes. Yeah, I guess we'll have to wait and see. But they're definitely not gutted, but I think those are actually positive changes. So, I mean, you guys are going to be like, fucking Venruki hates Ret Paladin. I'd say they get slightly nerfed. So definitely slight nerfs. Denounce damage got increased. So they actually buffed Holy Paladin. Denounce. Is that the only buff Holy Paladin got? All right. They I don't yeah, I'll put that there. All right. Mana regeneration reduced. So they actually did it, guys. I feel like they nailed the healer stuff. What are your guys' thoughts? They very slightly nerfed Druid and Holy Priest mana, so they don't just out mana everybody. They didn't touch Disc. I think Disc is in a decent spot. They slightly buffed Mistweaver, slightly buffed Prez, and slightly buffed Shaman. I kind of like that. Am I crazy? Evoker needs more damage? I don't think that that's true. I think Evoker does a lot of damage. Yeah. The Prez Evoker buffs seem more than slight. Well, good. I'm okay with it. It's the Affliction Warlock. Alright, okay, we got Affliction Warlock. Let me put slight nerfs for Holy Priest. Rampant Afflictions, it decreases the damage of Unstable Affliction by 45%. So, is Rampant Affliction the AoE afflicted? Is Rampant Affliction the one where you can put UA on multiple targets? Okay, so they unnerfed that and they increased UA backlash damage. Okay. I'm going to be honest with you guys. I feel like at some point, Blizzard just needs to go in and say, Unstable Affliction does a percentage of your health. So they have, like, they keep having to change the number. And I feel like the definition of insanity is repeating the same thing over and over and over again. It should literally just be unstable affliction does 35% of your health if you dispel it, or 40% of your health if you dispel it, you know? Like, I think it's super weird. Like, I think that would be really good for Affliction Warlock's mental health. So every time a new season comes out, or every time they buff stamina, they don't have to redo this. So, slight buffs to Affliction. Warrior, Shattering Throws damage increased to shields is 30% less effective. Wrecking Throws damage to shields is... So they nerfed the Shattering Throw. Execute damage increased by 20... What the fuck? Execute damage increased? Show No Mercy now increases critical strike chance and damage of execute by 5%. First stack was 15. Okay. Show No Mercy now increases the critical strike chance and damage of execute by 5% per stack was 15. Okay, so... They, like, nerfed this talent, but they buffed the base. Okay, I don't know. Yeah, so non-crit execute's got a buff. So basically, crit executes are going to do a little less, and non-crit executes are going to do a little more. Am I understanding that correctly? Minus 30% crit chance and crit damage for executes is Slayer. Okay. So is that a buff or a nerf? Would you guys think that's nerfed or buffed? Or just neutral? What do you guys think? Neutral? I think it's kind of neutral, yeah. All right, and then Fury. Slaughterhouse PvP talent. Duration decreased to 20 seconds. Wow, they decreased Slaughterhouse. So they made it so you can kite Fury Warrior's Mortal Strike better. That's interesting. And then Show No Mercy increased the critical strike chance of damage. Okay, so they nerfed the execute for Fury Warrior as well. Strength of Mountain increases the damage of Bloodthirst and Rampage by 25%, was 37. So Fury got some nerfs. So Fury actually definitely got some nerf because they didn't get the execute buff. So Fury got some slight nerfs, especially with the Slaughterhouse. I would say that's fairly significant. Where's Fury? People will just play Mountain Theme? Potentially. So arms, looking decent. A little bit of a buff. I'm actually surprised there wasn't more for some of the other specs. The specs that are immediately jumping out of my mind that needed some help were DKs. DKs, I think, needed something. If I want to be as unbiased as possible, I feel like DKs needed like a little something. And I kind of feel like Warlocks should have had maybe a little something. But Warriors getting nerfed. Maybe Warlocks needed just like a little something. Like more armor. More stamina. Something, you know? But other than that, I love the changes. Warlocks and DKs, I think, are kind of boned. Maybe enhanced. I don't know. Enhanced is weird. But Warlocks have been rising up lately with Holy Paladins coming back. Yeah. Maybe a healer meta switch is what Warlocks need. It's very possible. It's very possible that the healer meta mixing up a little bit is what Warlocks need. So we'll see. I'm very optimistic. I'm super happy with the healer changes, though. I think that's enough to maybe even mix up the game. So that'll be fun. And then the one-shots from Fury Warrior, I think that was a good change. These are some surgical changes coming in, and I'm a fan of almost all of them. So cool. That's what we're looking at, guys. The damage buffs to Havoc Demon Hunter, I think, are the craziest thing, though. They're going to be good. They're going to be really good. You should gear your Demon Hunters, guys. If you're looking to preemptively flavor the month reroll to something crazy, I think you're going to like Demon Hunter a lot. That's my advice. What do you guys think? Demon Hunter's finally going to be good. Mistweaver change looks nice. I've been loving my Mistweaver monk, so that's great. Great.